want to be. Now, here's the other thing. I went to probably 10 women's basketball games, see my granddaughter play last year. And I saw some officials that I thought were going to be really good because they were young. You could tell they cared about the game. They cared about the kids, and they were professional. They were professional. And this is not a high level game. It's a very average team, that type of thing. But they were ready to go, and the ball went up. They were great. They were great. Other guys, they come and do the games. And these kids, this is a big deal. All of you that played high school, it's a high school game. You're ready to go. You want to have a great game. Referees kind of walk out in the court with like a slow walk. They, talking to each other. They see some guy in the stands. They know they're talking to him instead of watching the players warm up. And all these things are going on. And I'm thinking, if I'm an observer, if I'm a referee observer, that guy's getting really bad grades right away because he's not preparing himself for the game. And I think we all owe the game that. I never coached a game where I didn't try to win. Obviously, I lost a lot of games, but I never coached a game where I didn't try to win the game. And I was going to do my best job every time. Sometimes I did a lousy job, but I was going to do my best every time. And that was my attitude before every game I ever coached. That was my attitude before every practice too, by the way. But in the games, that really becomes important for the officials to look like they're excited about the game. And I think players really appreciate that. If they see that in officials, they're ready to go. I'm ready to go as a player. Let's go. Let's go play. And of course, the coaches, they're reading all the time. They're reading, body language, the coaches, all how they act before the game and all those things. So I think that's something we all work at all the time, but it should be natural. It should be natural. If you're, it's amazing what separates players. You think about all the players that played in high school, how few get scholarships to college. You think about all the referees there are in the country, how many get to the ACC level, the Big East level, whatever. And what separates referees? Well, a lot of times it's not, how much basketball you know. A lot of times it's not knowing the rule book. Well, what is it? Well, it's a combination of things. But I think if you maintain your love of the game and it never gets old, and you just constantly keep working, keep getting better, all of a sudden good things happen. I got a break to get into college coaching. I knew one college coach that could get me into coaching, and he gave me that break. When I got that break, I knew then that, I wasn't going back. I was going to do everything I could to get better. Because I had to learn a lot to learn. I was a young assistant coach in college, and I was going to get better and do whatever I could, to become a good coach. And whatever that meant, a good coach. I didn't know I was going to coach in the ACC, the Big Ten, or the Big East, but I wanted to be a good coach. And so that was my goal. And I think the reason I reached a lot of my goals in coaching was because I loved the game. It wasn't because I knew more basketball than other guys. But, if I had to work 12 hours a day, I'd work 12 hours a day. I didn't care. It was basketball. I was doing something I loved to do. And as long as you keep that in the forefront, not in the back of your mind, but in the forefront, I think that becomes really important. And you have to have courage. I guess courage is another important thing. You walk out with some course, and that could be high school, that could be AAU games, that could be college games, doesn't matter. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. You got two coaches that are going after it. You got crowds. It's a little nasty. They're going to be nasty. There's no doubt about it. Well, how do you handle that? And part of it is you have this confidence build up over time that you've checked all the boxes. You've done the clinics. You've done the camps. You've studied video. You've done everything that good referees do. So when you walk on that court, it's a tough situation. You know that you have the ability to do that. And you can never lose that confidence as an official